Welcome to this presentation. Before going into the technical detail of these indications, I will briefly explain which problem this indicator addresses and how the information provided is of help to the trader. As we can see, the indicator divides the screen into horizontal lines which are spaced 1 centimeter apart. This data density for centimeter equals 5 tells us that the distance between one line and another is now 5 points. 5 points. This figure is constantly changing throughout the trading day. Right now is 2 in the morning. So let's take as a reference a candle that on the screen is 2 centimeters high, like this one, and we can see that the points that make it up are 10 points. So I'm fast forwarding to a time when these numbers will be higher. It is now 5 o'clock in the morning. The density value has risen to 22 points per centimeter. 22 points. We can therefore see in this point a candle similar to the other one, with a height of about 2 centimeters on the screen, which at this moment has a value of 43 points. This means that despite having the same height on the screen as the previous one, this one is worth 4 times more, so it should be 8 centimeters high. So let's move to a point in the day where this data will be even higher, between 16 and 17, as shown in this table. Then we are now at 1750. We can see that the density figure is now 37. 37 points. Here again we have another candle of about 2 centimeters high on the screen, which at this moment has a value of 70 points. This candle therefore has a value 7 times higher than the one we saw at 2 o'clock. Then it should be 14 centimeters high. This happens due to the mechanism used by the MetaTrader graphics. These things that I have just explained demonstrate that the graphic of the terminal is not a real representation of the values of the candles and of the oscillations. The purpose of this indicator is then to provide a precise feedback of what are the true values of the oscillations and the candles. Because entering the market at a time when the candles are very rich in points can make you earn, offers the possibility of earnings. If you enter the market when the value is low, for example when this 2 centimeter candle value was 10 points, it's impossible to earn because the spread is already higher. It's important that we are well aware of what the screen candles are worth before trying to take the movement. Then follow me to the end, where I will show you exactly the reasons behind this behavior of the graphics. Now let's see the meaning of these other values in this table entitled Candles Average. We have in this column the hours of the day and the heights of the candles in terms of points at various times of the day. These data do not refer to today's trading, but to the previous 30 days. They are the average of the averages for the whole month for each one of this hour. Big average is simply the highest figure in this column. This data serves us as a reference to understand whether the market is currently producing large swings or not. The average data refers to the last 60 candles. Therefore, the average is the average value of the last 60 candles. This percentage tells us that at the moment the average value of the last 60 candles is 88.4% of the best given data, that is 95. The indicator has an alarm that produces a flash on the screen and a sound when this percentage reaches 80%. 80% is a default value I set to indicate a condition of good market, but it can modify it as desired. The indicator also creates a log file where you can find more details about the price activity to see which day or which hour the volatility was higher. This last data, big hour 154, is simply the highest average value that 61-minute candles have reached in a particular hour of the month. It can, let's say, gives us an idea of what the potential of the couple in question is. So let's go a little further until the moment these values will begin to decrease, as also indicated in this table after 19. So we can now see that oscillations are getting smaller and smaller, and now paradoxically they become very high again. Using the mouse wheel, we can see precisely what is the way in which the graphics process the candles. Going back, they are compressed because there is this oscillation which is very high, and therefore to make it stay inside the screen everything is compressed, also the lines of the indicator, since it is stopped. Let's see, for example, this oscillation that in this moment occupies the whole screen. Moving to the left, it becomes smaller because it has to make room for this other larger one. Instead, in this case, the candles are expanded again to fit the screen, otherwise they would be too small at the bottom and not stand out. It is clear that all this mechanism does not make it clear when it is convenient to trade or not, because the true values of the candles are not known simply by looking at the graphic. The solution then is precisely have continuously updated values to see, let's say, beyond the eyes, beyond what is the appearance. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.